Okay, so let's unpack this. It is February 2026. Picture the scene. It's Friday night. You've had a completely exhausting week, and you just want the best Italian dinner in town.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right. And think about how this played out just 3 years ago, back in the ancient times of 2023. You know exactly how it went. You open a browser, you type in best Italian dinner, and then you just start scrolling past, 4 ads that aren't even remotely relevant to you.
Right, the sponsored links.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you scan 10 blue links. You click a website that takes, 10 seconds to load. You hunt for a PDF menu that you have to pinch and zoom on your phone screen. And then, heaven forbid, you actually have to pull up a dial pad and call a human being to make a reservation.
Honestly, it sounds exhausting just hearing you describe it out loud. It feels like manual labor.
It really does feel archaic now.
Yeah.
Because today, in 2026, we aren't really searching like that anymore. We're delegating.
Delegating.
Yeah.
That is the absolute perfect word for it. We have firmly entered the era of the Agentic Web. And really, that's the massive shift we need to unpack in our deep dive today.
Yeah, and let's set the table for the listener real quick. We've got a really fascinating stack of sources for this deep dive. We're pulling from Google's own technical documentation, plus some very detailed operational guides from platforms like Toast and QSR Automations.
Which give us an incredible look under the hood.
They really do.
Right.
And our mission today is to look at the platform making all this possible, which is the Google Business Profile. Because we aren't just using search engines to find information anymore, right? Mm-hmm. We're using these autonomous AI agents to discover, negotiate, and actually execute purchases for us.
Yeah, it's like having a hyper-competent personal concierge right in your pocket. Mm-hmm. But look, we aren't here just to geek out on the consumer tech side of things. The sources we're looking at paint a very, very different picture for you if you're a business owner.
Right.
Because the Google Business Profile, let's be honest, it used to be a digital phone book. It was this static listing where you basically just hoped you got the holiday hours right.
Yeah, you set it and forget it.
Yeah.
But based on the research we've done, it has mutated into something much more aggressive. It is now a dynamic, AI-ingested data node.
A data node, yes.
And so what here is incredibly stark for you listening. If your business profile is not optimized for these agents, optimized for the software, not for humans, you are mathematically invisible.
Mathematically invisible. I mean, that is a terrifying phrase if you're a small business trying to make payroll.
It really is.
But it's accurate. In this new economy, the algorithm doesn't just rank you on a list anymore. It decides if you are even an option to be presented to the user in the first place.
Okay, so let's strip this down a bit. How are these robots actually shopping for us? Because I think most people probably assume it's just, a smarter version of Google Search, but the underlying infrastructure is fundamentally different now.
Oh, it's entirely different. To really understand the how here, we have to rewind just a bit to January 2026 to the National Retail Federation Conference. That is where Google's CEO, Sundar Pichai, dropped the bomb.
Right, the UCP announcement.
Exactly, the Universal Commerce Protocol.
So help us decode UCP. Is this just another API that developers and businesses have to wrestle with?
It's way bigger than an API. Think of UCP as the HTTP of agentic commerce.
Okay, HTTP.
Yeah, you know how HTTP is the universal language that lets any browser, Chrome, Safari, whatever, talk to any website on the internet?
Right.
Well, UCP is what allows an AI agent like Gemini or even a personal open source bot you're running locally to talk directly to a merchant's backend system.
So it's essentially a universal language for buying things.
Essentially, yes. It was co-developed with Shopify, and it already has massive support from heavy hitters. We're talking Walmart, Target, Stripe. The whole goal was to standardize how a transaction actually happens without human eyeballs ever needing to touch a web page.
Okay, walk me through the mechanics of that. Say my bot wants to buy a specific pair of sneakers for me. How does it actually talk to the shoe store using this UCP?
It's basically a negotiation. Merchants publish the profile of their capabilities to a specific directory on their server. Technically, it's usually sitting at .wellknown/up.
Okay.
So when your AI agent initiates a transaction, it reaches out and literally shakes hands with the merchant system. They compare notes.
What are they comparing, though? Are they in there haggling over the price of the sneakers?
Not price, usually. It's about logistics. Your bot says, hey, I have a Visa ending in 4242. I need shipping to this specific zip code, and I have a 10% off discount code.
Yeah, okay.
And the merchant system instantly replies in the same language. It says, great, we accept Visa. We can ship via FedEx by Tuesday. And yes, that code is valid.
And if they agree?
The transaction just executes. Boom. This is what allows for what the industry is calling agentic storefronts. Your AI handles your loyalty points, your shipping preferences, subscription management. All of it happens completely in the background.
I mean, that sounds incredibly convenient for me as the shopper.
Oh, it's frictionless.
But for a small business owner, say you run a local coffee roaster or a boutique, this sounds really intimidating. Do they need to hire a whole team of software engineers just to build this handshake?
You know, that was my exact first thought when I read the documentation. But that is where the democratization of this tech comes in. Platforms like Stripe, Wix, WooCommerce, they all rolled out agentic commerce suites.
Oh, so it's built in.
Exactly. So if you're using Square for your local coffee shop or you built your site on Wix, you basically just toggle this feature on. The platform itself handles the entire UCP handshake for you.
Okay, that makes sense. So the pipes are laid. We have UCP handling the actual transaction.
Yeah.
But before my bot can buy the pizza or the sneakers, it actually has to find them first.
Right. Discovery.
Which brings us back to the Google Business Profile. The sources we reviewed talk a lot about this massive shift from SEO to GEO.
Yes, this is the real pivot point for visibility. We are moving away from search engine optimization and into generative engine optimization.
I do love a good tech acronym. But what is the functional difference here? Is GEO just new marketing jargon for the same old keyword stuffing we used to do?
Definitely not. Old school SEO was all about keywords and backlinks, right? You wanted to rank high on a lot of blue links so a human being would read it and click on you.
Right.
GEO is entirely about factual density and structured data. Because Google's AI, Gemini, it doesn't want to read a marketing blurb. It doesn't care about your catchy slogan. It wants to ingest hard facts to answer extremely specific questions.
Okay, give me a concrete example of that. What does a bad profile look like to an AI versus a good one?
Okay, let's take a plumber. In the old days, a plumber's profile might just say, Bob's Plumbing, and then in the description, we do great work, call us today.
Which works for a human.
Right, but to an AI agent, that is just noise. If I ask my AI, find me a plumber who can fix a tankless water heater on a Sunday, and Bob's profile just says plumbing, the AI skips him entirely.
Because it's not confident he can actually do that specific task.
Exactly. The AI is highly risk-averse. To win at GEO, Bob needs natural language descriptions in his profile that are dense with actual facts. Things like, we repair tankless water heaters. We offer 247 emergency service. We explicitly service the following zip codes. The AI needs to read that confidence in the data.
But hold on, we all know businesses lie. Or at least they exaggerate in their own descriptions. Does the AI just take Bob's word for it?
No, and this is where it gets really fascinating. The sources highlight this concept of review mining. User-generated content is now treated as a primary source of truth by the AI. It literally reads every single review.
Wait, it's reading the actual text of the reviews, not just looking at the star rating.
Oh, it's parsing the text for hard data points. Say you run a restaurant and a customer writes a review saying, the vegan gluten-free options were exceptional. The AI extracts that phrase as a verified fact. Yeah, it adds a hidden tag to your entity in Google's database. It basically says, has vegan GF options equals verified. So the next time someone's agent asks for a great vegan dinner, your restaurant pops up. Not because you checked the box on some back-end form, but because a real customer verified it in natural language.
That puts a tremendous amount of weight on customer reviews, which, let's be honest, usually leads to a surge in fake reviews.
It definitely does. And to combat that, the system has started allowing pseudonymous reviews. You can review places using an avatar or a nickname.
Really? That seems counterintuitive if they want verified facts.
Well, the logic in the documentation is that people are actually much more honest about sensitive services, like, say, a proctologist or a divorce lawyer, if they don't have to attach their legal name to the public review. The AI has decided it wants the honest data points more than it wants your real name attached to it.
That is a very clever workaround. Now, I want to touch on the visual aspect of this too. I saw the term visual revolution in our notes. Is this just about businesses needing to have high-res photos? Because everyone has an iPhone now, high-res is basically standard.
Oh, it's way more technical than just a pretty picture. Google's Vision AI is scanning your uploaded photos as raw data. It is not just looking at a picture of a burger and classifying it as food.
What is it seeing?
It's seeing sesame bun, cheddar cheese, pickles, approximately 6 ounces of beef.
Wait, it is extracting the actual ingredients from the photograph.
Yes, It extracts items, ingredients, and it even infers prices if there's a menu board visible in the background of the shot. So if a user asks their AI, who has the best cheeseburger under $15 within a mile?
The AI might recommend you because it reads your menu photo.
Exactly. Even if you never bothered to type the price into your actual text description.
So the AI is essentially walking down the street, looking in windows and reading menus, all in a fraction of a millisecond.
That is a perfect analogy. And that's exactly why businesses are being heavily pushed to upload immersive content now, like AR store tours. If the AI can spatially see your store, it trusts that you are real, you're open, and it can confirm the vibe matches what the user is asking for.
Okay, so the AI has found us using GEO. It's ready to buy using UCP. Now we get to the specific action point the sources focus on, which is the order with Google button. I've seen this on maps. Is that what we're talking about here?
It is, but we need to make a really clear distinction here. You might see a Placen's order link that just throws you out to a Grubhub page or a restaurant's own website.
Right, a link out.
Yeah, that's the old way. We're talking about the fully integrated order with Google button, where you or your agent never actually leave the search results page.
Totally frictionless.
Completely. And for the hospitality industry, you're talking hotels, travel. This is causing a massive disruption.
How so? I have to assume companies like Expedia and Booking.com are not thrilled about this feature.
They are terrified. Those are the OTAs, the online travel agencies. Their entire business model is based on taking a 15 to 25% commission just for sitting in the middle of the transaction.
Right.
Google's strategy here is to completely disintermediate them. They want the booking to happen right there on the Google surface.
But does Google actually want to be the merchant? Like, do they want to deal with handling my refund if the hotel room is dirty?
No, and that is the brilliant strategic twist here. Google explicitly refuses to be the merchant of record. They don't touch the money, they don't hold the funds, and they definitely don't handle customer service. They pass the transaction details directly to the hotel.
Why would they pass up the money, though? That seems unlike a tech giant.
Two main reasons. One is antitrust. If Google controlled the commerce layer entirely, regulators would swarm them overnight.
True.
Two, it's about the data. By passing the transaction directly to the hotel gets the customer's real email address, their room preferences, their booking history.
Oh, that is huge for them. Usually, when I book through a third-party app, the hotel has no idea who I am until I walk up to the front desk to check in.
Exactly. This new model starves the OTAs of that data ownership. But, and there is always a catch with this stuff, the integration has to be perfect.
What do you mean?
Say a hotel has a great spa, but that spa's booking system isn't exposed via an open API to Google. The AI literally cannot see that the spa exists.
So if I tell my agent, hey, book a nice hotel with a massage available at 9 a.m., and your spa system is offline or closed off,
the agent just books your competitor. You are invisible because your assets aren't on what they call the unified digital shelf.
Wow. Okay, and this brings us to the back-end reality of all this. Because it's all well and good to have a shiny button on Google and a smart bot making the purchase, but what actually happens in the kitchen when a robot orders 50 pizzas at 7 p.m. on a Friday?
Chaos. Absolute, unmitigated chaos. This is what the industry guides refer to as the double-edged sword of the Agentic Web. If you open the floodgates to AI orders, your physical operations have to be absolutely flawless.
The sources mentioned a term, 86ing. That's restaurant speak for running out of an ingredient, right?
Right. 86 the calamari. In the old manual world, a server just walks up to the table and says, hey, sorry, we're out of the squid.
Yeah. Minor annoyance, but you order something else.
But in an agentic world, if your point of sale system doesn't automatically tell Google you're out of calamari within seconds, the AI across the city will just keep ordering it.
Oh, no. And then the restaurant has to refund those orders manually, which I imagine the algorithms absolutely hate.
They punish it severely.
Yeah.
It triggers what's called a cascading failure. High manual refunds suggest to the AI that your data is unreliable. If you can't actually fulfill the orders you accept, the AI stops trusting you and you get downranked immediately.
So your inventory sync has to be in real time. But what about just being too busy? Like, if the kitchen is just underwater with orders, do they just, I don't know, unplug the router?
You definitely cannot just unplug. That destroys your ranking too. That is where order throttling comes in. Yeah. The analogy used in the technical guides is a pot of boiling water. If you take the lid completely off, meaning you accept unlimited incoming orders, you flood the kitchen and the water boils over, you have to keep the lid partially on to control the flow.
So smart kitchens are actually talking to Google and saying, hey, slow down.
Constantly. Background systems like Kerbit or QSR automations use real-time data from the kitchen. They literally monitor the make line. So if it's Super Bowl Sunday and the ticket times are hitting 40 minutes, the system dynamically tells Google to increase the wait time, quote, shown to the customer. Or, if it's really bad, it pauses incoming orders entirely.
Basically to prevent a kitchen collapse.
Which is a real technical term in this industry. And it gets even more granular when you look at the KDS.
The KDS, that's the kitchen display system, right? The screens the cooks are looking at.
Yes. When an AI order comes in, it has to be injected directly into that screen stream. But think about the insane logic required there. You have concepts like lane claiming.
Lane claiming. That sounds like a bowling alley.
It's essentially load balancing, but for sandwiches.
Okay.
Imagine a kitchen with 2 prep lines. Lane claiming is the digital system automatically assigning the incoming turkey club to line A because it knows line B is currently bogged down making 6 complex salads.
That is wild.
And the system also has to route delivery orders differently than dine-in orders. It calculates it so the fries don't sit on the counter getting cold while the delivery driver is still 5 minutes away.
It is genuinely incredible how much hidden logic has to happen in the background just so I can click one button and get a hot meal.
It's a symphony of synchronization. If one single instrument is out of tune, if the inventory isn't synced, or the, quote, time is off by 10 minutes, the whole concert falls apart.
So hearing all of that, why do it? Why would a local business go through all this trouble of integrating APIs, managing KDS lanes, syncing real-time inventory? It sounds incredibly expensive and fragile. Why not just stick to walk-in customers and phone calls?
Because of the data and the upsell. The economic incentive here is just too massive to ignore.
Okay, we touched on the data ownership earlier, getting the customer info back from the big delivery apps.
Yeah, that's the long-term strategic play. The sources show that 40% of quick service restaurants now see first-party ordering directly through these integrated systems as their absolute top growth channel.
Wow, 40%.
But the immediate daily payoff is the upsell.
Ah. Because the AI is a better salesperson than a human cashier.
It's just infinitely more consistent. A human cashier might be tired, or the line is out the door, or they just forget to ask if you want to add a drink. The AI never forgets, and it uses predictive modeling. It knows mathematically that most guests add fries when they order that specific burger.
Or it pops up and says, pair this with a drink for $2.
Exactly. And here's the psychological part.
Yeah.
Because there is no social pressure, you don't feel judged by a robot for ordering the extra large chocolate milkshake. People just say yes more often. The stats in the report show these AI nudges can lift overall ticket sizes by 14 to 18%.
14 to 18%. That is a huge margin in the restaurant business. I mean, that's the difference between breaking even and actually making a profit.
Exactly. And speed matters just as much. We learned from the data that native mobile apps, if you actually have the restaurant's app downloaded, convert orders in about 4 to 5 minutes. The mobile web experience takes 7 minutes or more.
Right. Entering credit cards, finding the menu. So the order with Google integration basically captures that lazy customer or the brand new customer who hasn't downloaded your app yet, but they still want that fast 4-minute checkout experience.
It captures the impulse buy perfectly. It completely reduces the friction between the thought, I'm hungry, and payment sent.
Okay, so we've established that the infrastructure is here, UCP is running, the Google profiles are evolving into GEO, the back end has to be incredibly robust, and the financial payoff is very real. But let's zoom out for a second as we wrap up. What does this actually mean for you, the listener, who might be running a business today?
Honestly, it means the window for having a just good enough digital presence is rapidly closing. We are moving headfirst into a winner-take-all local economy.
A winner-take-all economy. That sounds pretty ominous.
It's just the reality of the new interface. When you search on a screen, you can scroll through 10 links. You have choices. But when you ask an AI for an answer, it gives you one answer, maybe 2 options if you're lucky.
Right. The AI doesn't say, hey, here are 10 plumbers. Good luck figuring it out. It says, I found the best plumber for you. I booked them for Tuesday.
Exactly. The local pack, that map with the top 3 businesses, it has shrunk. AI overviews synthesize a single confident solution. So if you aren't optimizing for GEO, if your data isn't perfectly structured, if your inventory isn't syncing in real time, you aren't just relegated to page 2 of Google anymore. You are non-existent.
You are mathematically invisible.
Yes. And the businesses that do put in the work to optimize for this, they are going to capture the vast majority of this agentic traffic. The digital landscape is just becoming much more ruthless.
It really feels like we are at a definitive tipping point here. You either plug your business into the machine or you just get left behind completely.
That really is the choice.
Well, I want to leave everyone with a final thought that struck me while we were reading through the hospitality sort material. Think about this. If Google's AI handles the discovery, meaning it finds you, and the AI handles the Q&A of Chorus, it answers the customer's questions about your menu or your hotel spa. And then the AI handles the entire checkout process, and you, the business owner, just receive a digital ticket and fulfill the order.
Who actually owns the customer relationship?
Exactly. Are you still building a brand? Or are you just becoming a nameless, faceless fulfillment center for Google's bots?
I mean, that is the multi-billion-dollar question right there.
It is definitely something to chew on the next time you tell your phone to order you dinner. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Audio check. Is this on? Oh, hold on. Wait, did they just... Oh, man, did that really happen? Seriously? I can't believe that happened. I think that presentation went well. Wait, is this mic still on? It can't be. Oh, no, it is.